It took a lot for Josh Rawitch to be here today. I think there's a little going on in the world of Dodger media relations, and I think you have a game tonight, but thanks for being here. Josh Rawitch.
I don't know that I'm necessarily the most appropriate person to speak about Matt, because I started in Dodger PR a year after he came off the beat. So I guess in a lot of ways I'm kind of speaking on a lot of people who were there before me, John Olgeen, Derek Hall, all the people who don't necessarily live here but knew Matt that well. My first year in PR, I actually only made one trip, and I went to Atlanta and Miami. It was the first trip I ever went on in sports. I was just a 24-year-old kid, but Matt actually took the time to take me to dinner on the road, and we've heard a lot of people, a lot of the writers who he's impacted, and a lot of other people in other areas of his life. But I don't know that people realize just the impact that he can have on a young PR person as well. And I feel like I learned quite a bit from him, and obviously wish I could thank him for that now. I think the other thing that's probably really important to think about, you hear a lot of people talking about looking at the obituaries and seeing the ages, and to me, I guess what I'll take most out of it is that you don't have to be Matt's age to really take this to heart, see what happened. I think it's something that reminds me every day how important it is to enjoy the day that we're having, to realize how fortunate we are to work in this industry, to have the kind of life that we have, and I will certainly appreciate, I think, every day more just knowing that Matt isn't here, and that I know he enjoyed every day. It's something that will have a big impact on me forever, so thank you guys.
Ramona Shelburne, do you have anything to say?
I think Kevin's trying to say I talk a lot. I don't know. I guess it's nice to see all of you guys here today. I think the last time a lot of us saw him was at his goodbye party we had. I think it was BJ's when he decided to when he left the Daily News, and a lot of people came out that day, and it was sort of hastily thrown together, and it had been moved around 3 or 4 times. But you see, I mean, every time that it got moved around, you made a point to put it on your calendar and make sure you were there. And I think what was great about it was, I don't know if Matt realized how important he was to all of us here, and everyone who showed up there and made a special point to clear their schedule whenever you knew that you were going to see him. And Gene and I had breakfast with him a couple of days afterwards. We went over to Jerry's Deli. I think we should have probably invited their staff. I'm sure they wanted to say goodbye too. But we had breakfast with him a little while later, and I said, Matt, that was a really nice goodbye party. I've been to a lot of those, and usually people just kind of show up and sign the card and maybe chip in a few bucks, but that was a real special one. And I think he knew it, because he just smiled and he was like, yeah, it was. And it made me really happy to know that he knew how much we all loved and cared about him before he went back east. And I know it was real hard on a lot of us that he was back east when he was going through all of it, and all of us wanted to just go over there and give him a hug and be with him through that. And I'm so grateful that he had East Coast friends there with him, because I know we were all thinking and praying about him the whole time. But the thing, a lot of you guys knew Matt kind of in his heyday. He was covering the Dodgers and all that. A lot of us youngins here, we didn't ever really get to see him like that, and it's great for me to hear all these stories. I knew Matt as a mentor, as a guy who really, to be honest, kept me in the business in a lot of ways, and gave me a reason to answer my phone at 9 o'clock every morning. I get that call, and I'm not really a morning person, but I got to say I look forward to it every morning. Just get that call, and he made sure to do it. And I guess right now, seeing everyone here today, God, I don't want to cry, but I know we all have over the past couple of months. The last time Gene and I saw him, we were at Jerry's, and Matt was trying to eat better. He's trying to respect his diabetes. I think at that point he kind of knew how serious the situation had become, and so he ordered a bowl of soup. And it was real hard for him. It just killed him to order it. And I, was definitely not on a diet at the time, and ordered some tuna melt and onion rings and all the good stuff. And Matt just living vicariously while I ate it. Just watching me chow down on the tuna melt, and I had extra cheese on it and everything. And about 20 minutes into the meal, I was like, Matt, I can't finish these onion rings, man. You got to help me out with these. And he's like, I really can't. And Gene was trying to be the mother hen like he always is, or whatever that is. He took care of him a lot. And he goes, Matt, you can have one. Matt finished the rest of my onion rings. And I guess that made me happy, because that's how Matt should be, right? And I think what we can all do today to honor him, wherever you go today, get some extra cheese on your cheeseburger, get some extra mayo, order some extra chili, and just tip your cap to the guy, because he knew how to live and he knew how to treat people. And I like what Sal said earlier. 3 cheers for a life well lived.
Nicely said. Rick Hazeltine worked with Matt at the Daily News, sat across 2 computers.
Yeah, I did. Well, the first time I met Matt on the phone, because I was assistant sports editor and he was covering the Kings, and his reputation hadn't preceded him yet. But the first thing I learned about Matt was, and I didn't know much about hockey, and I always had to edit his hockey notebook. By the end of the year, I still didn't know anything about hockey, but I knew how to spell every foreign hockey player's name, frontwards and backwards, because I was always looking them up to correct them. And then a few years later, Matt came in the office and he sat right across from me, or 2 computers. And part-time I was assistant sports editor, and the other part-time I was helping Matt turn on his computer and try to save whatever it is he lost. So, but I did go, I went to Matt's farewell, but just a couple of months before that, I think it was Kevin and I and Gene, we went to Mission Burrito for lunch. And, I had lunch several times with Matt, and before Matt, I sat across from Mike Anastasi. So I'd heard like all these Matt stories, but with Mike, he kind of has the Anastasi touch. You're not quite sure exactly if that's 100% accurate. And and I would say that one thing Mike was definitely I had never had lunch, and it always seemed like Matt and I went to Mission Burrito, because that was my favorite spot. And to the last lunch I had with him, he, without fail, spilled salsa on his shirt. It was just, I don't know how, just a magnet, I guess. In between that, when I first met Matt when he came in, and listening to everybody here talk about Matt being their best friend, Matt wasn't my best friend, but he had a gift of making everyone feel like they were his best friend. Every morning I'd come in, it'd be, "Hi, Ricky," and that's something we can all take away. And the other thing I would just like to say is, Matt and I are the same age, and last July I was diagnosed with diabetes type 2, just like Matt. Since then I've lost 25 pounds to try to not have the same fate as Matt. But all of us were talking about being the baby boomers and all that, or hitting that age. I would urge all of you to get your blood sugar levels checked, because it came as a surprise to me. And then lastly, I cut TJ off as he tried to get here before me, because I didn't want to have to follow him. So. And TJ doesn't really know me, but we worked at 2 papers together. He was covering the Chargers at the San Diego Union when I was covering high schools, and he covered the Chargers at the LA Times in San Diego edition when I was there with my good friend and his Don Patterson, and he was covering the Chargers and I was still covering high schools, which probably explains why I became an assistant sports editor. And anyway, that's all I want to say about